Sony is revamping PlayStation Plus, the subscription service to get games on your PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. And of course, they've taken one product and turned it into three tiers of PlayStation Plus service. I'm going to explain what that all means and how it relates to their other service, PlayStation Now, which is a name you may not hear much after today. For a while now, we've really considered Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to be really the best game subscription service. You get a ton of content, you can play it on your Xbox, you can cloud game it, PC games in the Ultimate version, and a lot of brand new games like Halo Infinite coming to the service on day one. Now, Sony has had its own version called PlayStation Plus for just about as long, but it doesn't really offer the same level of content. They give you, 2 games a month from a pretty big list that you can download and keep as long as you're a member. You get online multiplayer access, you get cloud saves, and on the PlayStation 5, there's a nice little catalog of about a dozen or so pretty nifty games that you can access and play, but that's really about it. At the same time, Sony somewhat confusingly had a whole separate service called PlayStation Now, which was their version of cloud gaming, where games are played on a remote server somewhere and it just beams it to you, kind of like Google Stadia or NVIDIA GeForce Now. But that was a separate subscription you had to pay for on top of PlayStation Plus, and the two things sort of existed in their own silos, not together. Now they're kind of coming together depending on which tier of PlayStation Plus new service that you get. So it's broken down into 3 tiers now. I went to the old whiteboard to break it down for you. If you have PlayStation Plus today, that's basically going to be PlayStation Plus Essential, the basic tier, still $60 a year. And for that, you get Sony's choice of 2 different games a month that you can download and keep. You get cloud saves for your games, and of course, online multiplayer, because you have to have a subscription to get your console online to play multiplayer games now. If you trade up to the next level, that is PlayStation Plus Extra. That's going to be $100 a year, and this feels the most like Xbox Game Pass in that it adds this catalog of 400 extra games. I don't know exactly what's in the catalog yet, but these are, again, games that you can download and keep on your local console for as long as you are a member of PlayStation Plus Extra. So if you're thinking of Microsoft has Xbox Game Pass and has this big library, PlayStation has PlayStation Plus, this is the tier that most closely resembles that. And then there's a new top end tier, that is PlayStation Plus Premium, and this is $120 a year. And if you think about PlayStation Now and the cloud streaming service that is, that not a lot of people even really know about, a lot of that seems to get pulled into this because in addition to all the stuff here and all the stuff here, you also get an extra catalog. Sony says right now it's 340 games, and a lot of that is retro stuff. PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2 games, PSP games even, some of which are downloadable, some of which are going to be cloud streaming, and that's where the PlayStation Now services come in. And Sony also says some new games are going to offer you trials, kind of a try before you buy thing. Sony is not going quite as far as Microsoft does. The company has even already said that you're not going to see the biggest, day one AAA games on the subscription service right away. That's going to cannibalize their actual individual game sales. Still very important. But everybody knows that we really are moving to a subscription model, just like movies have with Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime Video. And games really have to a reasonable degree with Nintendo Switch Online and Xbox Game Pass and all the versions of that. A lot of people really get their entire gameplay experience through these subscription services now rather than buying individual games. So I think this shows that Sony knows it has to move heavier into the subscription model, which is important because you get that recurring revenue versus selling somebody a piece of hardware, a console one time, then hoping they'll continue to buy games. It's the razor and blade model, which goes back, as long as there have been razors and blades, where the hardware, the base unit, you get at, if not a discount, at least not a huge markup, and then they want you to buy the blades, the software, one piece at a time for games, $60 or $70. Well, now if they can just get you in for $120 a year for the highest level tier of service and feed you a whole bunch of games, then you're a recurring revenue customer year in and year out. And really at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants. Now, is this going to be great for PlayStation gamers? It depends on what's in the catalog. Microsoft has done an excellent job putting really good games into the Xbox Game Pass catalog, although there's a lot of junkers in there too. Half the stuff feels like, made for cable sci-fi channel movies, but they're also big hits. Sony hopes you're going to come to see this as an essential element to add to your game library, especially if you're a PlayStation 5 owner, assuming, of course, that you've been lucky enough to be able to find and buy a PlayStation 5.